So, you've gotten yourself a copy of Darkest Dungeon 2, you've loaded up the game, and wheeled your stagecoach down to the crossroads to select your team, ready to send them with gusto to an early grave, and yet, when you get there, you realize you have absolutely no idea what it is you're looking at. What do these tooltips mean? How do resistances work? What the heck is a death's door? Well, don't worry, in this video I'm going to cover all the basics about how to understand your heroes and use them effectively in the coming fights. This is just the first video of a series going in depth into every hero and how to use them, so make sure to keep an eye out for the rest of them. The first place you're going to come across your heroes is at the crossroads. It's here that you'll build a team to send into the horrors of the world and fight your battles. This selection process is definitely a lot more important than it might seem at first, as here is where you'll get the best chance to set yourself up for a successful run. For this video, we'll be looking at heroes at different stages of their unlock trees, but do keep in mind that hero stats are much weaker when they're first unlocked. You'll need to upgrade these through the Altar of Hope, which I've made a full guide on how to use. Link is in the description. Looking here at the Quirks tab, you'll be able to find the hero's resistances listed. These are important to keep in mind as you face different regions and enemies with various effects that they use. Some heroes are much stronger than others against certain things, while others have distinct weaknesses that you will need to compensate for, so it does pay to keep these in mind. These resistances show the percentage that your hero has to resist the specified effect. So, if it shows 50% for Blight, that means that unless there's a modifier, such as a trinket or debuff affecting that hero, they will have a 50% chance to resist Blight when afflicted by an ability that applies it. Keep in mind that stress and horror are always at a 0% chance to be resisted unless there is a modifier, such as the Jester's Virtuoso path buff, that changes that. It's also good to know here that Daze falls under the stun category of resistances and not under debuffs. Finally, one of the most important resistances that you will notice here is the Death's Door resistance, indicated by a red skull symbol. Death's Door is a stage that your hero enters when they hit 0 HP. At this point, any damage they receive will check this resistance, and if you fail that check, the hero dies. So, if it's at 90, then you have a 90% chance to survive the next Death's Door check. But do remember, every time your hero checks Death's Door in that fight, it will decrease the resistance by a certain amount. This resets after the fight, but it does mean that during that fight, every time you take a hit, you're going to have a lower resistance and a higher chance of dying. The next thing you'll want to take a look at is your hero's quirks, found in the same tab. New heroes will always spawn with new quirks, one positive and one negative. This does not apply to heroes of memories, as they retain their quirks from the last run. I'll be making a separate video on how to use memories. These can be one of the most important things to take a look at before selecting a hero. Sometimes you'll be blessed with a powerful quirk that amplifies a hero's abilities greatly, and other times you'll want to avoid using a hero due to them having a very nasty negative effect. At the same time, do keep in mind that there are a few ways that you can remove negative quirks, such as a field hospital or in items. There's a couple others as well, assuming that you have those things unlocked. So it is okay to take heroes with bad quirks if you focus on getting rid of those quirks as effectively as possible. Heroes are limited to 3 positive and 3 negative quirks total, so keep that in mind as you stack up quirks over a run. You may just lose one that you really wanted if you don't pay attention. The next tab that you can take a look at is the Hero Paths tab. This tab will be where you can select your path for the run, assuming that you have them unlocked. Heroes all start with the Wanderer path unlocked, others are revealed at the altar by unlocking them there. Each path focuses on having the hero play in a specific way, giving you unique modifiers to enhance, change, or even debuff certain abilities. These can greatly alter how you choose to affect the selected hero, so pick them wisely. There are a few more tabs here that you can take a look at. Of course, there's the Skills tab that lists all of the unlocked abilities for a hero. You can also see what the upgraded versions of these abilities are by mousing over them by holding the Alt key at the same time. This will show both the regular and the upgraded version of this ability. Now, there's also the Information tab, which contains a quick synopsis of the hero's strengths and weaknesses, and also lists their current candle goal. This is important if you're trying to get as many candles as you can. Finally, there's also the Story tab, which contains a list of the shrines that you have currently completed on that hero, and while you currently can't replay the minigames or flashbacks here, you can replay the narration should you want to listen to it. And that pretty much covers the crossroads. The next step is building your team and setting forth. Do keep in mind that the order of the team can be changed at any time during your run when you're traveling. You just need to drag and drop the hero's order in the bottom display. Now you've taken your heroes into the world, it's time to learn how to read and use your character sheets so you're best ready for the challenge ahead. Here in the character sheet, you'll find a swath of useful information to help keep tabs on your roster and make sure that you're in tip-top shape. Going from right to left, you'll see that the heroes listed quirks and their trinket slots. This is where you'll drag trinkets from your inventory in order to equip them on your hero. In the center, you will see a few things. At the top, you have the hero's name, which can be changed if they have no memories. If they are memoried, their name is locked in though. Below that, you will see the hero's current path. Mousing over the little crest here will inform you what the path does if you've forgotten. Moving down more, you'll see the hero in all their 3D rendered glory, and then their current health, stress, and speed below that. Mousing over the HP and the speed will inform you where any buffs or debuffs you have are coming from. You'll also find any diseases your hero has currently here at the bottom. Now to the left of this section is again where you'll see your current resistances. Mousing over all of these will inform you if you have anything altering them from their base levels, such as a region modifier or a trinket. Next, you'll see a few tabs above here that you can check out. The first tab on the left is the Relationships tab. Here you can see your hero's current relationships with their compatriots and what the % chance is of them forming relationships at the next inn, whether it's good or bad or even both. Relationships can be affected by a multitude of different things, from high stress to inn items to what you choose to do at different nodes, but I'll be making a more in-depth guide to managing that system separately. Keeping tabs on this will help you ensure that you're forming positive relationships, which can be a huge help for your run. The next tab is the Combat Skills tab. This is where you can see all of your currently selected abilities and switch them out if you'd like. Remember, it can always be a good idea to check your abilities before a big fight so you're best prepared. Unlocking new abilities must be done by taking that hero to a hero shrine and playing out their specific backstory elements. Each hero has 5 shrines, unlocking a total of 11 abilities you can use for each of them. It's also in this tab that you will find where you can equip combat items to your hero for use in fights. You just drag them over from your inventory and put them over here. Make sure that they always have something here if you can have something here, because at least that way they don't take up space in your inventory. Pro tip. Finally, you will find the Conditions tab. This is where you'll see any conditions or effects that are applied to your hero. This could be hero-specific things like the Leper's Blind Generation, or in-item effects or other miscellaneous effects that could be applied to your hero. You'll see the hero's candle goal listed here as well, and any memories you have applied to that certain hero. This now brings us to the final part of this video, using your hero in combat. Once you've entered into a fight, and you see that it is your turn, you'll have a few options that you can have your hero do. These options are listed in the hotbar at the bottom of the screen. The first 5 items are your hero's abilities. Remember, you can have up to 5 equipped at any time. Make sure you don't accidentally equip less. You can do that. Grayed out abilities mean that you are out of position to use that ability or that the move is on cooldown. Right of this, you'll see a combat items that you have. These items will not take up your turn if you use them, so don't hold back. You can use them and still get your turn. Right of this, you'll see the move button. This button lets you move your hero's spot with another. This is great if you're out of position and you're trying to get your hero somewhere where they're more useful, if you get shuffled for instance. Do keep in mind though that every hero is different in how they can move. The Hellion, for instance, can't move backwards. Do keep this in mind if you need to reposition. Finally, you'll see the pass turn button. This is used for if you have no over abilities that you want to use and you don't want to reposition your hero for whatever reason. Using it will induce stress on your hero, but it can also be an amazingly powerful tool if you use it at the right time. If your hero is close to death or on death's door, you can use the pass button to give you a one-time heal. This can save your life when you're close to the end of a fight and you just need to hold on for a little bit longer. Do try to keep this in mind. It won't tell you that it has that. You just have to mouse over it and see the little heal button to know that it's available. And with that, you've pretty much got the basics. You now understand how to use your heroes and implement the best for the struggles to come. I'll be delving into each hero individually with more detail in their own videos, so make sure to watch those too. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.